We're continuing our conversation about church details, what it looks like to be a part of a local church. And so we're going to continue on with the conversation about elders. And so today we're going to do it more conversationally, right?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, good. So a couple questions as we think about elders. So we talked about last time we sort of talked about elders, where they come from, sort of those types of things.
Yep.
What does an elder do? What does it mean to eld, as it were?
Well, another word for elder is overseer, right? And so, or leader. Sometimes that word is used. I think one of the verbs used is to govern. So in one big overarching sense, elders are the governors of the church. Not to take that to our heads or anything like that, but they do oversee the entire church. That's like every aspect of it, not just in terms of what's taught from the pulpit,
right?
But like counseling, administration, finances, all those things are under the umbrella of the elders. Because they oversee the whole church. But it is ultimately like a people job.
Okay.
They're watching over people's souls, as Hebrews says, in Hebrews 13, and they're going to give an account for those souls before Christ. How did they care for them? How did they tend the flock in that way? And that's like, under the umbrella of overseeing the church, that's like the main component.
Okay.
Like caring for people's souls, which includes word and prayer.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So then, if an elder is going to care for the souls of people, what's their like bank of authority to do that? Like, to what extent does that go? Are we able to like make arbitrary directional decisions based on like preferences, that sort of thing?
Right. I mean, so there are some clear commands in the Bible about what elders are to do, like in 1 Peter 5, shepherd the flock of God among you, exercising oversight, not under compulsion, but voluntarily according to the will of God, and not for sordid gain, but with eagerness, nor yet as lording it over those allotted to your charge, but proving to be examples to the flock. Simply put, I mean, of course, our authority is Scripture.
Yeah.
So this like passage gives us some clear directions about our attitudes and our actions towards church and towards the people of the church, towards the flock. We're not driven by our preferences. I would think that there are things that are preferential, like what time are we going to start church? Like, what's the call to worship going to look like? Are we going to do this kind of women's ministry event, men's ministry event? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do that. That's not in the Bible. Actually, a whole host of decisions are not in the Bible. And those preferences, I think, are informed by the Bible, though. Decisions are informed by so that our final authority is the Scripture, and then with the unanimity of the elders, we come to a decision on those kinds of things. Okay. Whereas there are clear-cut issues that are biblical, like pastors or elders are to teach, teach doctrine, teach truth, exhort and rebuke. We are to pray. We are to shepherd the flock of God. That's counseling, caring for people's souls. So those things are clear. We're supposed to meet for church. But like all the specifics, I feel like,
the where, the when, the specifics of the how.
Wouldn't you say, right?
Indoor, outdoor, for sure.
There's a million different possibilities. How do you know?
And so those decisions, which are not necessarily biblically tied to the Bible, which is helpful because culture changes and the Bible sort of transcends that. But then, not sort of, it does transcend culture. But then those decisions we make collectively.
Right.
So not it's not just the arbitrary will of the one or whatever. There's this unanimity, collectivity about that. And then as we shepherd people's souls, maybe a decision someone's making, let's say for example, where they would struggle with that decision, or our job is to sort of like deal with their heart when it comes to those decisions.
Right.
So applying the word, maybe not to the decision itself, but maybe to the motives that are underneath the decision. However it goes.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, but God works His will through the elders. And I know that can sound in our culture very like authoritarian almost. Any kind of mention of authority or any kind of like top-down feeling is supposed to be bad. But it's not. That's clearly God's will for the church. It's not like it's his option A and B or his preference. It's his ironclad will. And so instead of that, going to our heads, I think that just actually frightens us to some extent. If I can say it very honestly.
Not me.
No, John's never afraid of that.
I'm never afraid of those decisions.
It's a scary thing in a sense, right?
Yeah,
of course, like God, like still works through our mistakes and errors and sins, and He still works all things together for not just my good,
yeah.
but the collective good of the bride that he bought with Christ's blood.
Yeah.
And so as we make decisions, I know there's never going to be perfect unanimity across the board with the church.
Yeah,
I'm saying, but in those instances, like what you're saying, if people do have disagreements, I mean, we'd love for you to share your heart with us. We're open door policy, but we would want to help you understand where that came from.
Yeah.
You know, and
for sure,
not force you to agree with us or anything like that, or coerce you.
At least like walk through the thinking, the thought process. Yep. So like your illustration of a governor is really good, because a governor is just a citizen, right? Then the people elevate that citizen to have leadership. Right. Where in this case it's sort of the other way. We're all citizens, right? But then in God's providence, He's sort of chosen certain people to be leaders in certain capacity.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. That's super helpful. Well, next time we'll talk about how we choose elders and where that comes from. All right?
Sounds good.
All right, very good. Thanks for watching. Hope that's helpful for you.
Thank you.